Once again, our show has prepared a trio of interesting topics from space exploration for you. First, we will visit the Starbase in Texas, where SpaceX has initiated preparations for the third integrated flight of SuperHeavy and Starship. The second topic will show us how one of the first two modules of the Lunar Space Station Gateway is being created. The final topic will remind us of the achievements of the Mars Rover Perseverance. The second integrated flight of the SuperHeavy rocket with the Starship spacecraft took place on November 18th. Not even a month later, SpaceX began preparations for the third flight of the tallest, heaviest, and most powerful rocket in history. On December 13th local time, Starship 28 headed to the orbital launch pad. The approximately 50-meter tall spacecraft was transported as usual in a vertical position. The SPMT transporters, thanks to a large number of wheels, were able to maneuver well with a large load. Similar transports are relatively common at the Starbase. However, this time, things were different from what we are used to. Since Christmas is just around the corner, SpaceX decided to create the true Christmas atmosphere for everyone watching the transport. The SPMT transporters were decorated with light chains, a Christmas tree, and there were even snowmen and reindeer. Starship 28 was headed to the orbital launch pad, where its tests are likely to begin in the coming days. The official schedule of tests is not available, but there is talk of a static fire. Starship already had Raptor engines installed during the transportation. You are currently watching footage capturing the first phase of the production of the PPE module, one of the two modules that will form the basis of the Gateway Space Station. This video was filmed in the production hall in Palo Alto, California in the summer of this year, but it has only now been made public. The delay doesn't matter because it's truly an exceptional sight. The PPE module production is provided by the Maxar company, will have an irreplaceable role for the Gateway Station. Its giant photovoltaic panels will supply the station with electricity. In addition, it will handle communication with Earth and changes in orbit using advanced ion propulsion. The Gateway Station will be the first space station to be formed beyond low Earth orbit. While the International Space Station orbits 400 kilometers above Earth's surface, Gateway will orbit around the Moon on a significantly elongated elliptical path. The construction of the Gateway Station will begin in November 2025. At that time, the Falcon Heavy rocket will launch the first two modules of this station. It will be a small residential module halo and the PPE module, whose production you are watching right now. In the footage, we see the central tube and several panels. In the middle of the central barrel of the module, there will be two 825-liter xenon tanks. various systems will be installed on the panels that will create the cubic body of the module. Maxar engineers used the proven and reliable Maxar 1300 satellite platform for the construction of the PPE module, which is mainly used for telecommunication satellites. Do you also feel like the Perseverance rover landed on Mars almost yesterday? In reality, it was already on February 18, 2021. In a few weeks, we will celebrate the 3rd anniversary of this event. Although we should correctly say that 3 Earth years will pass since landing. A year on Mars, one orbit of the red planet around the Sun takes twice as long as an Earth year. The length of a Martian day, called Sol, differs only slightly from an Earth day. Mars rotates on its axis once every 24 hours, 39 minutes, and 35 seconds. The rover has now celebrated its 1,000th Sol on the surface of Mars. During this time, it managed to collect, for example, 23 samples that are expected to reach Earth laboratories for detailed analysis in a few years. And we certainly have something to look forward to. A sample called Lefroy Bay contains a large amount of fine-grained silicon dioxide. It is a material that preserves ancient fossils on Earth. Another sample, Otis Peak, contains a significant amount of phosphates, which are often associated with life as we know it. Both of these samples are also very rich in carbonates, which can preserve records of environmental conditions from the time when rocks were formed. If you had the impression that you are on Mars right now, there is no need to be surprised. An enormous mosaic of images from the Mastcam-Z cameras on the rover's head served as the visual background. The result is a 360 degrees panorama containing more than 2.25 billion pixels. The panorama measures 94,000 pixels in width. You would need to place 25 4K monitors, side by side, to see it in full resolution. In height, it measures 25,328 pixels. To view it, you would need 12 4K resolution monitors stacked on top of each other. You can download the image from the link below the video. Just be careful, the TIFF format image is almost 3 gigabytes. Thank you for your attention to today's episode of Spaceflight News. We are delighted in your interest in space news, and to ensure you do not miss future episodes, kindly consider subscribing to our channel. Additionally, you can find other interesting news on our profile on social network X, formerly known as Twitter. The link can be found in the video description.